Okay, so I want to talk about water in a crate. This is something that I'm really passionate about because it can mean the difference between your animal being alive when you come home or get up in the morning, or your animal not. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's the truth of it. And people are doing this more and more and more, restricting water under the pretense of potty training. But restricting water does not, and I'll repeat this, it does not potty train a dog. It dehydrates them. It begins to set the dog's body in motion of shutting down. Begins to kill the dog. Dehydration can lead to death. It leads to mental issues, behavioural problems. It can lead to aggression, resource guarding, increases the risk of UTIs, affects organs, shuts organs down, can create strokes and heart disease, and in the end, it can kill a dog. And do all those wonderful, wonderful things, all of those it can do. The one thing it cannot do is potty train your dog. Because if you're doing it and your dog's pissing less, the dog's unable to piss. It doesn't even have enough fluid in its body to get rid of waste products. Can't even get rid of the toxins building up because there's not enough fluid there. Your dog is dying. It's not potty training, it's dying. And I know that sounds harsh, but it needs to be said, and it's true. Emergency hospitals are seeing more and more cases all the time of dogs coming in with organ damage, brain damage, death. Over and over and over, dogs are coming in with symptoms of dehydration because people are restricting water. And in a crate, when you restrict it, you give the dog even more anxiety because it can't even get out to try and forage for water. So all hope is gone. And so many people say, oh yeah, but I give it access to water when it comes out. So bloody what? When a puppy needs water, when a dog needs water, it needs it. Otherwise it starts to dehydrate. So giving it water hours after it actually needs it is doing what? You're starting to create problems. One of the things you'll see is your dog guzzles it. It's so frightened of not getting it. It begins to guzzle it. It'll guzzle it to the point that it's sick. Some dogs have guzzled to the point of death. All because you don't want to get up. You don't want to take the dog to potty. That may be one extra time, 2 extra times that you may need to. Because you don't want to clean the dog up if your routines aren't right. Always, in every video you see this crate in, there is this big container of water. Since she was 6.5 weeks old, since the day we rescued her, that bucket of water has been in her crate, and it gets filled and filled and filled over and over and over again. At 6.5 weeks, she's now 14, not one accident has happened. Not one. It hasn't happened because I set proper routines and schedules and took this dog out. And look at this crate. There isn't even a divider in it. In the early days, there was a divider halfway down. And people will say, oh, why such a big area? This whole thing of a small area for me is a little ridiculous and redundant because a dog can't hold its bladder. Dog has no control over the muscles that control the bladder. So when the bladder fills up, the dog urinates. End of story. At 14 weeks, she's got a full crate. 42-inch crate. She doesn't have accidents. She doesn't have accidents because we ensure the routines are correct. The same as we did when she was 6.5 weeks old, when she was 8, 10, 12, and so on. She always had water. She was never put in or at risk of suffering dehydration or death So we didn't have to go and take her to piddle. And the funny thing is 90% of the time we only need to get up once of a night. Sometimes twice, but most times only once. Right? Water should always be made available. One other reason that dogs have anxieties in the crate is because people take water out. Don't be lazy. Don't be one of those people. Don't put your dog at risk.